All right, good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, May 26th, 2022, and let's get started here. Going to go up to go down to our 512 and quickly review how the day went yesterday, and then we'll jump into this morning. So let's go back and take a look. So overnight session, we came down, magically held the major eye level 1450 there, got a little minor probe through and started chugging up into the open. And remember yesterday we talked about seeing on the higher time frames a potential we saw a multiple time frame bullish signal, so there was potential for the market to push, right? We were saying that we needed to get through the high of the week and then go ahead and start pushing to get up to the highs of the week before. So there was a little bit of that potential bias to the upside. We did try, I called a short right around VWAP at our minor eye level to see, since we were pulling back in the overnight session, just to see if we would actually hold the VWAP and go ahead and continue selling off. We see it happen all the time. Didn't work. Got a pullback from 40 quarter down to 35 quarter for 5 points, right to the FMA, and then kept going. So you could have scalped that for five. And then you guys remember, as we were pulling back into VWAP, we had not only VWAP, we had the 200 moving average, and we had the major or the minor eye level once again, and basically testing the high of the morning there. So as we pulled back, I called that trade, got in myself, and this ended up pushing. If you caught it off the minor eye level at 40 quarter, it pushed just about 16 points up. From there, called another trade on the pullback right off the FMA, only ended up bouncing from 49.50 to 53 for just over 3 points and then came back. And then since we were rejecting, and I told you this was a very typical peak above and fail type of pattern, we looked to try to short the VWAP again and the FMA to see if we would come down lower. Didn't happen. And then things went sideways, so I urged everyone to be patient until we could actually get some movement, and told you that even though we expected higher, I was skeptical of any type of major breakout. And then what happened is we held VWAP, we came up, we held above the orange power level, and then held above the high of the day before. These were all clues that we were going to push higher, obviously. I didn't call anything throughout this entire push higher. So if you felt the need to, you could have traded the back end of the FMA in this push and been very successful, going all the way up. I did finally call a long on the pullback to the 200, but that again only went from 64.50 to 69.75, 70 for a 5 point bounce, and then it came back lower. And I gave you this level right here at 39.56 and told you that this could potentially be a level that would hold. And so what happened was the market came down right to that level, broke it by one tick, and got this nice 15-point bounce right out. I think it was 15, maybe 10 points. So I got a 10-point bounce right off the level I warned you about as things were pulling back here, and then it continued to sell off. And I think that was basically it. We ended our session, yeah, right at the time we ended the session, we hadn't come back down to test that level until a few minutes after we closed our session. And it came right to it, and you could have grabbed another 10 points there had you tried it. And that was it for our trading morning. Market pulled back right back into the range, right back to where the market opened, chopped around in that messy area for quite a while throughout the day. This was really an unideal trading environment for the type of stuff that we do, right? It was just very bi-directional, up and down, very balanced type of market, not really going anywhere, although slowly trending higher. And we're going to talk about that when we get into the higher time frames here. But pretty ambivalent market with a slight edge to the upside. And then you can see as the end of the day came in, we pushed and actually came right to 39.97, our minor eye level up above. Remember, we have the major level at 4,004. We have our minor level at 39.97. Is it a coincidence that we came right to 97 here, broke by like what, 2 or 3 ticks, and then got the major pullback for the end of the day? I don't think so. That's there because it is a major structure zone, right? So held right off of there, And if you're wondering what this dotted light blue line is, this is that major fib retracement level that we were expecting to be a resistance as the market pushed higher. And so we'll go back to the high time frames and I'll mention this level again. But look what happened. We peaked on through pretty appreciably there by about 10, maybe even 12 points, and then came back and pulled back. And the end of the day, came right back to VWAP and bounced off of it. Now, in our overnight session here, the bulls are still kind of remaining strong. We've made higher highs as the night has progressed into the morning here and higher highs. We're also holding up above VWAP, at least for now, right? So that's where we stand. Yesterday, our high of the day was basically the minor level, and then you can see in the morning here we've come up to test right into 4004. And this is a very typical situation where we come up into a major level. We get some tests of it, some little peaks through, and then pullbacks and then holds right off that level. So we'll see this morning, do the bulls have the strength to continue to go on chugging higher? So let's go up to the high time frames and take a look at everything else and put some of these levels that we reacted off of into perspective. So let me jump over to my higher time frame chart, and we'll start with the daily and take a look. Remember, yesterday I told you we're really emphasizing the fact that there's a beautiful bullish reversal pattern from the low we made like 4 or 5 days ago, and then on the pullback from a day, 2 days ago now, but basically going into yesterday, we talked about the bullish divergence from the pullback on Tuesday. So we have two beautiful bullish patterns off the lows, and if you look at these candlesticks, I mean, those are some pretty big reversal patterns right there, just from a candlestick perspective as well. So I argued to you guys that there's probably a good argument that we would attempt to break out to the upside. Now, how far we actually got, I told you, we've been bouncing and then failing, bouncing and then failing. So I'm still skeptical of some type of major reversal to come back up, like I said yesterday. But the break through the high of the week and then the break through the high of last week up here at 4093-ish is possible. And so far, as of yesterday and as of our overnight session this morning, we are starting to get through the high of the week and, very slowly kind of stair-stepping higher here. So that's where we stand. Yesterday's daily candle looks pretty strong. And again, we did break through the high of the week. And now we're coming up into the next major resistance level that we'll talk about. So let's go down. I don't think the 4-hour has much else to add here. As you can see, we came down into a major support and resistance level down around 38.22. Bounced off of it with a nice bullish divergence. And again, there was a huge multiple time frame bullish signal from the low of, I don't know, I think it was last week or I forget the weeks now, maybe the low of this week or something, and has been bouncing up. And now we're coming right into 4,000, right? We've got the 39.97 level and the 4,004 level. We're right into the next major support and resistance. So let's go down and start talking about all the individual levels here. And we'll zoom in. And first thing I want to mention is I talked about the next major resistance area or level when we were looking over here at the daily chart. You saw that dotted line there. That is that major swing up here that I think makes sense to be a potential resistance spot. So that level right there is 40.2975, and so that's just another about 20 points up from where we are right now, 30 points up. That is if we can get through the overnight high and get through the major support and resistance level here around 4,004. So we've got the overnight high and the major eye level. We've got that major swing low at 40.29, and then we've got this area right around, and I even want to look at that other swing right there at 40.39. So I think I could argue that we have basically 40.39 and whoops, we have 40.39 up into our next minor eye level at 40.42. So I'll mark this on here and we'll get it on all the charts. $39, $42, all charts, apply. All right, so there's that little 2 or 3 point pocket right there. And then it's all the same levels up above. I don't need to mention the levels I've been mentioning for, 2 or 3 weeks. If we get up through the high of last week, which is important for any type of major bullish reversal back up, we've got all those levels we've been watching for a very long time, including some of the major retracement levels. So 41.22 would be that next major retracement level up. And I need to extend this out to the 27th now. So it's showing on our charts. And same thing up here, this guy. That's that next major retracement level as well. But basically all the same levels up above us here. So I don't feel the need to really speak about them. And then same thing on the bottom end here. If the market sells off and breaks the low of the week, or again, I forget if this was last week. I think it was Friday. If we break the low of last week, then we're down into the pockets that I've been mentioning for probably 2 months. So I'm not going to spend time on that. I want to look at what's going on inside of here, inside of all this junk that we've been chopping around in for a week and a half, 2 weeks now. So if we do continue to pull back, remember that this retracement level you see coming across the screen was the major 61.8 retracement of this leg down from 40.96 all the way down to the low we made. Again, I guess that was Friday of last week, if I have the numbers or if I have the days right. So that major retracement level we're kind of peeking into and testing right now. Holding above it is obviously a clue, so I'm leaving it on there. So that's what that one is. You see that's really close to current price. We have our OPL, we have the close of yesterday, and the magenta line pretty close here on this pullback. The OPL, you never know, it's a magic line. So we see, even in chop, we'll see things come right into it and fail, or right into it and bounce from the upside. So we've got those two levels in the immediate area, and then the 50% retracement of yesterday. And then we're going to be breaking down right back to the major eye level at 39.45, which has been a MOV for quite a while now. And then we're down into the 3 major retracement levels. So let me mention the 3 major retracement levels for this morning. Assuming that we don't push through the overnight high, the current retracement from the low of last week all the way up to the high gives us these 3 light blue lines that you see on the chart. All right, so that's the fib leg I'm talking about, just basically the whole area over here since the bounce. So I've got that on there, those levels right here at 39.32, 32 half, 39.08 half, and then somewhere just about 38.84 half, 38.85. So those are those 3 major retracement levels. You never know if they're going to come right in and bounce off of those levels. See it happen every day. So we've got those on there. And then, of course, the major eye level 39.1450. This sucker has, just like 39.45, acted as an amazing support and resistance level throughout all the chop of the last 2 weeks. So again, that's sitting there just in front of the 50% retrace. And the low of yesterday is obviously sandwiched right in between those areas. So that would be a little pocket right there that looks interesting to me. In fact, I'll go ahead and highlight this little zone as a potential support level. And let's get it on all the charts. And we're getting close to the open here. So try to hurry up here. So 38, we've got the 50% retrace and the low of yesterday lining up basically with our major eye level. And then from there down into the 61.8 retracement over here. And again, we have 38.90. It has worked. In fact, 2 days ago, we pushed through it, we pulled back, and then bounced right off of it for this current bullish push and never came back. So we have that 38 there. 38.90 there, and then the 61.8 retracement is going to be that 84. What's the actual number? 84.75. Any further from there, I still think, and I'm going to extend this out to the end of today, still think that this is relevant here. This little pocket between 38.50 and 38.52. Okay? From there, it's all the same crap, right? Everything above us, everything below us is the same. And of course, the major eye level down below, 38.22. We got to probe through it, but a nice hold for the bounce higher. So if we come back, again, don't discount the possibility that we're going to bounce back and forth between these major centers. Okay? So be aware of that pocket there, 38.13 to 38.22. With that being said, I think we've covered everything for today. It looks like the potential bullish case that we're making off of the major low is working out so far. But remember, I'm very skeptical of any type of major breakout. So if we do continue to push and stair step higher here, I'm expecting a failure at some point off of one of these levels for a continuation lower in the market. Of course, anything's possible. So we're just going to adapt to whatever situation the market gives us. But that's kind of the general consensus I have coming into this morning. There's one final thing I should mention as far as levels go, and that is just the retracement of our overnight session. And so our low of today to the high of today, you can see the 50% is that major retracement level. We expect it to be resistance. It's just probably a coincidence, honestly, but 50% is there, and our 61 is here at 79.50. I don't know if it's really too important to focus in on this smaller fib leg, but I have it on there just to be thorough and just to be aware of the level if we pull back into the 61.8 for whatever it's worth. And then finally, remember, we have news this morning at 7 a.m. I think we have the pending home sales. So 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. There could be a little hiccup in the market, so obviously be careful if you're in a position or about to enter one, because the order book could jump around. I think that's basically it for our pre-market. So those watching out on YouTube, have a great day. We're going to be jumping down to the short time frames and looking for some trades coming into the open. We will leave the stream going, but remember, it is delayed by a few seconds and a much lower quality. So have a great day.